Well, good morning, Pascal. Thank you for...
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And thank you for spending some time with me today so I can interview you for Sisters on the Sea.
You're welcome. I'm really excited about what you've got planned. It's a really great idea to get people out on, like ladies out on the water.
Yes, trying to get some younger people out there. And what a glorious day in Hobart. Mm-hmm. The weather's really turned it on for us today, which has been nice for a change. It's been quite
pretty unusual.
Cool.
Over the last couple of weeks it's been a bit wet.
So most of you will probably know Pascal and her partner Troy, who have been sailing on their 30-foot Klansman and left Hobart. What year? Perth, I should say. Left Perth what year?
2017.
Right,
yep.
Okay. And I've been watching you probably since the early days and just really loving the footage of the Kimberley region. That's what really got us excited.
Yep.
And the way that you're showcasing Australia is been really great.
Yeah, the Kimberley is absolutely stunning, and really encourage anyone to try and get out there at least once in their life.
Since the early days and just really loving the footage of the Kimberley region. That's what really got us excited. And the way that you're showcasing Australia is been really great.
Yeah, the Kimberley is absolutely stunning, and really encourage anyone to try and get out there at least once in their life. So.
Yeah. Before you met Troy, did you have any sailing experience?
Yeah, I'm not really. I mucked around on little boats at a sailing club similar to this in primary school.
Okay.
But I didn't really remember any of that knowledge. So when I met Troy, he had a yacht and he invited me to take a trip to the Kimberley. So that was kind of sold it for me, the whole cruising lifestyle, because I'd only ever really mucked around at yacht clubs.
Yep.
And then I got a real taste for cruising because we went away together for 4 months sailing in the Kimberley.
So that's a really big step to go from nothing to 4 months thrown in together in a 30-footer boat. Yeah. There's not too many places you can escape to.
No.
If things go pear-shaped.
Definitely not, yeah.
But obviously things went well. And
it worked out really well, yeah. Which kind of prompted us to go back again. And this time, the second time we went back to the Kimberley, we filmed what we did on our travels, which is what culminated in, free range sailing and meeting yourself and
fantastic,
building a community of people from.
You've got a great following, and it seems to have happened in a relatively short period of time, but that's the beauty of the internet, isn't it?
Right.
And that whole domino effect.
Yeah.
A few people will see it and recommend to others.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think because the Kimberley was so unusual, we really attracted a lot of people with those videos.
Yeah, and also I love the bush skills that Troy in particular has, and smoking the fish over the fires, and watching him talk also about the Aboriginal art on a lot of the caves and things that you've seen. He's so knowledgeable as well.
That's definitely his passion, bushcraft and bush skills. So he actually wanted to do a sailing channel, just sailing and bushcraft, but I think we kind of broadened it a bit, so we'd have a bit more of an audience.
And so how long did it take you to get used to living on a boat?
I remember when we left Perth, it took me a while to get used to it just because of the space being so small. And I remember I used to just get really frustrated trying to do simple things like cook a meal, because the boat's always moving and there's not much room, and so things like that I found quite difficult. But the adjustment didn't take too long, and when you're out exploring all these beautiful places, you don't mind too much. You might have a few bad days, but then it's all worth it when you have the amazing days.
And what do you think your biggest stumbling block might have been at that time? Like, was it, how do I quit work? Oh my goodness, it's such a big step, because you really were at a stage where it was getting into the start of your career, I suppose.
Yeah, so when I met Troy, I'd been practicing as a lawyer, as a business solicitor for about 3 or 4 years. And I obviously hadn't really, to get on track with your career path, you sort of need to be working in law for a good 8 to 10 years. So if I just quit, then I wouldn't really. It would be quite difficult to go back.
Yeah.
But for me, it just felt like the right thing to do. I went with my gut, and it turned out for the best.
So do you think that it's something you'll go back to down the track, or do you think, no, this is now I have a life on the sea and it'll just be adventure bound, one adventure after the other from here on in? Or
I don't think I'd ever go back to being a solicitor, but certainly I don't necessarily think we'll always be making videos about sailing. We might adjust what we're doing. I'm really into my cooking, and I've been writing a cookbook and working on that. So, yeah, and we've also both been writing a lot and developing our website. So, we might branch out into other things. But
I really enjoy watching you cook and the ideas that you come up with. And I did have a go at making the yogurt with the powdered milk.
Did it work?
No, didn't set. No,
not hot enough, maybe.
I don't know what happened, but that was something I was going to ask you as well. Like with your provisioning, I noticed that are you guys still using powdered milk?
Yeah, we use powdered milk.
I gave up on that after probably about 3 months. I was doing the powdered milk, and I just got so tiresome making it up. And we've gone to UHT now.
Okay, well, it's just, I guess, if you have a bigger boat, you can fit UHT milk in.
Actually, we do have a bigger fridge. I think your fridge is only 40 litres.
Oh, we don't refrigerate our milk. That's why we use milk powder.
Okay. Yeah, so I was refrigerating our milk, but we've got a fridge that's about 150 litres.
Okay.
And so what's been one of the more scary moments on board?
We had an incident in Fraser Island over summertime. And we'd anchored for the night, and it was supposed to be a fairly calm night, no change in weather, but we had a freak storm happen to us at like 1 a.m, and the wind shifted 180 degrees and blew our boat basically onto the shallower part of the water, and there was a considerable sea coming in and lots of fetch, so we were actually hitting the bottom. There was waves breaking over the bow, and I was up on the bow trying to bring the anchor in the middle of the night.
That's not what you want to be doing at 1 o'clock
really
in the morning.
Scary.
Oh no.
Yeah. But
not good.
We got the anchor up. It came off the bow roller, but I just hauled it up over the side of the boat. We got the anchor up with minimal damage, which was lucky. And then we just had to actually re-anchor out in the deeper water. But we had a really horrible night because the storm stuck around for a couple of hours, and then we just had leftover slop and everything. But that was pretty scary.
That would be pretty scary. I'm yet to really encounter a big storm. I don't think I'd be scared, but yes, it's if you're drifting.
Well, just we'd swung completely. Yeah. We were hanging. It shifted a lee shore, and we were just hitting the bottom, like getting pushed ashore. And we could have easily lost the boat if we didn't have our wits about us. So
not good.
No,
not good at all. I have seen a few boats run aground up around Great Keppel Island and Daydream Island.
We saw boats aground on our way down. I think that from around Fraser there's lots of wrecks, so I think people have been caught out similar to us. And then also in Jarvis Bay we saw a lot of boats wrecked too.
Oh really?
And also in Tassie you see a lot too.
Yes. Yeah. Well, coming through that Great Sandy Strait, I think we ran aground about 4 times.
Wow, yeah.
Down past the middle there where it gets really shallow.
Yeah.
And it was a particularly low tide. I don't know what we were thinking. We just sort of had lost the plot. We were on a mission to get back to Mooloolaba. Which is our home base, and we just, for some reason, it was the only time we've run aground is through there, and we should have known better.
Was it a rising tide?
It was, luckily, yes. It was a rising tide.
What's your keel? The shape of your keel? Is it a full keel?
It's a bolt-on keel.
Yeah.
It draws 1.8.
Yeah.
And it's quite elongated. I think
so it's not fragile.
Well, it's not fragile. It's not a fiberglass one. It is solid.
Yeah.
But
it is bolt on, so you're putting stress on those
yes, it's certainly running aground is not what we want to be doing, and Dom does freak out about that sort of thing.
Because, I don't know, if you've watched our videos, you'll know that we've run aground a lot. But that's because we push our boat to its limits because she's a full keel, so she's solid fiberglass.
Yes.
So the keel isn't bolted on.
Yes. Yeah, so we're a bit more concerned about that sort of thing. It's not good.
If we changed to a bigger boat, and if that was an issue, we'd have to change things the way we operate a little bit. Yeah.
Not be quite so daring.
Yeah.
And have there been any equipment failures on board? Or have you got much equipment to fail? Because I guess you guys don't have an AIS, do you?
No, we have. That's part of cruising. We have equipment fail all the time.
Right.
But I'm not really super engineer-minded.
That's
Troy's
Troy
department.
Comes in handy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, the engine's really old. We have a Yanmar 2GM20, and we've had a...
What size, sorry?
A Yanmar.
Yes.
She's 16 horsepower.
16, okay.
Yeah. But the engine is so old, so we've been trying to stop it from going in the ground, just fixing it as best we can. Perhaps other people with newer yachting would have put a new engine in. But yeah, Troy is pretty experienced with engineering. He's a marine engineer, so we've been able to keep an old engine running, which is nice.
That's good with his skills. Otherwise, you wouldn't really want to. We ended up with our boat restoration. We didn't even attempt starting up the old engine. We found on eBay a 50 horsepower Yanmar.
Nice.
And picked it up for $5,000 from...
That's pretty amazing.
I know.
Do you know how many hours it had done?
Yeah, like 400.
Oh, what?
I know, all in fresh water.
Oh, wow.
All in fresh water because we got it from someone on the Murray River.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
The guy, it just happened that the seller was a truck driver because we said, we'll come down, we'll drive down and have a look at it. And he's like, I'll bring it up on the truck. And I'm like, we're on the Sunshine Coast. He's like, I've got a load going up to Brisbane. I'll stick it in the truck. And we thought, now we're going to be committed to buy it. What if we look at it and it's a load of rubbish? It's coming all this way. But
turned out all right.
We were very lucky.
That's great.
Yeah, so you can have success with buying second-hand items sometimes.
Definitely.
If you do your research and know what you're doing, know what you're buying. Night sailing. Do you guys do much night sailing?
Yeah, we actually do a fair bit of night sailing. We really like it because we have such a small boat and we don't have a big shade awning, so we find that we're protected from the sun. Not so much of an issue now that we're in Tasmania, but when we're up in Queensland it was nice sailing at night, being out of the elements. We don't have AIS, so it takes me a while to get my head around reading the nav lights from other boats and just judging the speed of them
and the distance.
And that's what's really great because Troy spent 30 years on the water. And he doesn't get upset or irritated if I wake him up to check whether we're going to collide with another boat. So that's generally how we roll it. We normally do 3 to 4 hours watch each.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if I see something and I'm not sure about it, I'll just wake him up. But similarly, if we have to do a sail change, I'll have to wake him up as well.
I was going to ask what your rules are with night sailing.
I'm okay to trim the sails and do stuff in the cockpit, but if anything needs to be done on the deck, then I have to wake him up, obviously.
And do you have safety lines running?
At night time, we always wear our life jackets and harnesses.
You do?
Yeah, we clip in. In the day, we generally don't unless we're going onto the deck. People get really upset about that on YouTube. They think we're being unsafe.
Really?
But our boat is so tiny that wherever we are, we're like lodged in.
Yeah.
Because the cockpit is so small. So we've only got 2.3 metre beam on our boat. So anyway.
Yes, people
can make up their own mind about
quite judgy
safety decisions.
Yes, I agree.
And so I think we've managed our safety really well. So we haven't had any scary incidents whatsoever. So in terms of falling overboard, there's no way for us to gather momentum and fall off our boat.
Okay. Have you ever done the exercise of practicing a man overboard?
No, we haven't. We've practiced with things falling overboard.
Yeah.
Like we've lost lots of things overboard. bits and pieces like
Yes.
gap handles, and we've lost fender and things like that. So we've done exercises together of retrieving objects.
Yep.
But yeah, no, we haven't done specific man overboard because they're actually quite dangerous to do a man overboard exercise. So you could end up injuring someone quite badly.
Yes.
Doing an exercise. Yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing about our boat is that it's got really low freeboard, so I can reach and pull.
Oh.
I can just reach over the side and pull. If I had like a rope and I could use the winch, I'd be able to winch up Troy and just pull him over the side. Like the distance from the water is only like less than a metre.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ours is quite a high freeboard.
Most
and
modern
there's
boats
no
are.
way I could pull Don out.
Yeah.
We did have to. Part of the goal of this channel is trying to encourage younger people to start sailing.
Okay.
Do you recommend this lifestyle for younger people?
I think absolutely. I think you should do it as young as you can. Because when you're young, you're still adaptable. So if you don't like it, you can always go back to what you were doing before. Or, yeah, I mean, if you wait until you retire and you don't like it, you've kind of set yourself on this dream, and then you put all your money or your savings, retirement into a boat, and then you don't like it and you kind of lost. So I think I'd really encourage people, even if they go out cruising for 6 months or take a year off work, probably the way we've done it, I would recommend if you can, because we didn't really sink all of our capital into our boat.
Okay, how did you go about it? So obviously you worked for a while, you saved some money, because I'm trying to think of the ideal age for people to start it. You definitely do need some finance behind you.
Yeah, you need some finance, perhaps some experience as well, so that you know that it's what you like, you don't get seasick, you know how to, you know basic principles in terms of, this is not really me, but I'm picking it up as I go along, but obviously Troy had that experience of anchoring and manoeuvring boats, docking, things like that people don't really think about. They think about sailing, but you should also think about other boat seamanship skills.
So what's a good way for young people to start out? Would it be perhaps going down to their local yacht club?
Yeah, definitely. I know that most of the yacht clubs in Hobart and all of the yacht clubs down the coast we've been to, they have twilight cruising, and you see in the yacht clubs that in the bathrooms you can volunteer to jump on and be crew, and people are really happy to have crew on board and get more people out on the water, especially young people.
Yeah, the clubs are really keen to get young people involved and more than happy to impart their knowledge, and you can find out very quickly whether it's something you like doing or not. And I think the fear for a lot of people is that, you have to have a lot of money to get into it, or you have to have a lot of money to buy a boat. It's just not true.
No.
And I think for young people too, perhaps a lot of their parents are discouraging them, saying you need to settle down and get a job and get a mortgage first.
Yeah.
But I think as we're all living longer and working longer, I think that there's time for that.
Little breaks, or just see what, I mean, maybe you'll find that it's a lifestyle that worth shifting your career or changing what you do. That's what it ended up being for me anyway. So just making it work so that you can stay out on the water longer.
Yes, that's the tricky bit, isn't it? Trying to find some sort of a passive income or something to do if you do seasonal sailing. A job that you can do in the off season.
Exactly. Oh, it's a coffee.
Yes, they're in abundance everywhere we go.
Yes.
Have you guys thought about racing, or do you prefer the cruising lifestyle, or do you think racing might be something to do down the track?
I'm not interested in racing. Troy's not really interested in racing. It's really different to cruising. It's about really getting the maximum out of your boat. I mean, I've never even really raced a boat, but this is just speaking to all our friends that are racers at the yacht clubs. They're always blowing sails and damaging the boats, and it's not really our ethos. Like, we're more into just minimal, like having a very low impact existence. So that's why we're on an old boat, a small footprint. So the whole racing thing is not really our deal. You know what I mean?
Well, it can be a very expensive way to sail, because as you say, you are blowing out sails and you're pushing the boat to the limits where things will break to try and get that extra knot of speed.
Yes.
And
I also don't deal very well with high pressure, like tense, highly competitive situations in that kind of sphere. Like I wouldn't deal very well with being yelled at by the skipper. So I don't really want to subject myself to that.
Nobody needs that.
No.
More a pacifist.
Yeah. I'm not a thrill.
So I guess something that young people might think, that they're going to be missing out on something if they do take up sailing. Like, do you miss hanging out in clubs and nightclubs and cafes with friends?
Oh, I kind of got that out of my system in my 20s.
Yeah.
I do miss my friends, and I definitely miss my family. So my brother, that's a year younger than me, he's got 3 kids now, so I miss them a lot. And it's harder for them to come and see us because they've got little ones. So I see my parents a bit more because they can visit us. But
that's good.
Yeah, I miss my brothers a bit.
And how did your family feel initially about doing what you're doing and quitting your job and going off into the wilderness with this strange man?
Oh, they were pretty reluctant and not that keen, but I think that's been a really great benefit of filming what we do and sharing our travels and our knowledge, is that they've really discovered that Troy knows what he's doing, I'm learning, and that we're really safe on the boat.
Yeah.
So I think they're coming around to it and they're okay with it now.
No, that's really good because you don't want your parents to be sitting at home worrying about your every move, and as you were saying before, being out of mobile range for extended periods of time can be worrisome for parents.
Yeah.
And so Troy's teaching you sailing as you go. Does he impart small portions of knowledge at a time, or how's your learning process? Like, how did things start off with you hopping on board initially with learning skills?
I guess I learnt basic, like learning how to steer with tiller steer, so just getting used to the feeling of the boat with tiller, and then feeling of the boat under sail. We sort of, in the calmer waters, I've been doing some tacks by myself, which is where you turn up into the wind and turn the course of the boat. So that's been really good. I mean, I probably don't practice my knots enough, but I know the basic knots to get by.
I'm really bad with knots. Someone said to me, if you don't know how to tie a knot, tie lots of them, but I don't know that is a good idea.
No, that's a terrible idea.
But I think I can do a reef knot now, and I can do the one with the fenders, tying the fenders on.
Oh, like a clove hitch, or no?
I can't remember what it's called. I can do the figure
2 round turns and a half hitch?
Yeah, that's it. 2 round turns and a half hitch. I can do that one. So it's all just learning little bits as you go. I don't think people should get overwhelmed with thinking, oh, I've got to do a crash course. Or did you do a legitimate sailing course as such?
I did a sailing course in primary school, but I didn't remember anything from it.
Right.
Obviously, there was like a 20-year gap.
Yep.
But yeah, I think if you know a bowline, a reef knot, round turn, half hitch, clove hitch, pretty covered.
Yep.
Figure 8.
Yep.
Yeah. You can make do.
Into trouble.
I'm making do with that. But yeah, you can. There's really great resources out there. So if you're a learning sailor, or if you're a solo woman sailor and you've got those basic knots, if you need to tie another knot, it's normally not in a rush. You can normally get the book out and tie it ready for your rigging or whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
If a specific barrel knot or something you want to do with your halyards or something like that, you can pull out your knot book and tie it.
Yeah.
Or just sit there practicing, which is what I should be doing.
Me too. But then I get distracted so easily. Oh, a turtle! Oh, look at the dolphins!
Yeah.
I'm very easily distracted. Do you feel that sailing has opened up the world for you now? As far as where would you see yourself, do you think, in 5 years' time or 10 years?
Don't know.
Great unknown. No plans down that track?
No, we're at the moment we're just trying to showcase Australia to people, because a lot of people that sail in Australia, they don't spend long here. They end up shooting out into the Pacific or up to Indonesia. So we really wanted to showcase some lesser known areas like the Kimberley, Arnhem Land, And now that we're in Tasmania, we're about to go to the west coast of Tasmania and showcase that. So
that's
we're
going to
really
be amazing.
excited. Yeah.
The scenery. I mean, Tasmania has so much to offer. I think all Australians should get down here and
it's
have
really
a look
amazing.
around. Oh,
best produce.
yes.
Yeah, and just so many different landscapes and so much different scenery in one.
In such a small area. You don't have to drive far to go blackberry picking like I did the other day, and
that's just on the side of the road.
I know. I'm like, Don, pull over. There's blackberries everywhere. He's like, I'm not going to pull over on the side of the road. But I did have a bit of a win the other day when we were down at Dunalley. Actually, we went down a little laneway and there were blackberries everywhere. So I managed to pick all of them. But yeah, the produce down here, the cherries and
the stone fruit's amazing.
And let's
the
not
cheese,
even talk about the wine tasting.
And the wine and the seafood has been fantastic. So we've really enjoyed hunting for seafood, eating a lot of shellfish, abalone, oysters, mussels.
Have you had a scallop pie yet?
We had a scallop pie. Well, Troy had a scallop pie and I had a bite, but it wasn't the best pie we've had. But it's actually not scallop season at the moment, so we're thinking we might have them closer to scallop season.
Yeah, I had a couple because the first one I had wasn't great. So if you don't like it the first time, I'll try it twice just to make sure. But the first one was quite mushy.
Yes.
And the second one was more flavoursome.
Was it curried? They all seem to be curried.
They all seem to be curried. I don't know why that is. Is that just to give them some flavour? But yeah, they were both curried.
I would prefer like leek and bacon.
Yes.
Not curried.
I'd love a potato leek and scallop pie.
Yeah, that would be nice.
A bit of bacon. That's exactly right. But the curry, what is with that? Who decided that all scallop pies have to be curried? I don't know. It doesn't have to be a thing, all you producers out there, you bakers. Mix it up a bit. One of the concerns that some younger women might have with going sailing, especially for longer periods of time, is what do you do when it's that time of the month? Hope you don't mind me asking, but it is a concern for a lot of people. So how do you tackle that?
I use I can't even think what they're called. A cup.
Oh yes,
like a reusable cup.
They're silicone.
Yes, it's a silicone cup.
Yep.
And it did take a bit of time getting used to, so I'd use the cup and then a pad. But I find that that's a really great way to, because you're just on the water all the time, it's really easy to pull it out and clean it.
Especially with salt water too.
I wouldn't use a cup if I was working or in the city.
That could be tricky.
You can't pull it out and clean it easily, like with a public toilet or with your work toilet. But it's really easy on a boat because it's just you and your partner and they don't mind. Like, they're used to you, so...
Troy can handle it.
He can handle
Doesn't get squirmy.
It's a good warning. He's like, oh, okay, it's that time. She's pulling out the cup. But if you want to try that, if you're aboard, it's probably worth a shot. But yeah, make sure you have some pads as well when you get started, because just getting used to... making it work for you, the position right, things like that.
Okay,
and knowing the feeling of when it's full.
Okay.
As well, but yeah, because I've been using that for 3 years on the boat now, I'm actually really used to it.
Right.
It's really great because I'm not taking up space carrying pads and tampons,
and not having the waste of them lying around in bins.
Exactly.
Things like that.
I think you can buy like 100% compostable tampons, so you could flick them over the side if you're comfortable with that, like they're full cotton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think even the fish really would need to see that, do they?
It's much better with a cup, so yeah.
Gosh, and I can just imagine being in an office situation where you've gone to the bathroom and you come out to the hand basin and clean your cup,
hands,
and all the girls are there. What? Yeah, no.
It just doesn't work really in city life.
No, but perfect.
It's perfect on a boat.
Cruising.
Yeah.
No, well, thank you for sharing that.
That's all right.
Sensitive topic. And for all you men out there watching, I should have given them a warning to just go make a cup of tea,
Maybe
grab
put
a
an
beer.
asterisk.
Yeah, I might have to do that. Are you guys looking for a bigger boat?
We are. It's on the back of our minds. We're not sure yet.
Well,
We have to
Mirrool
watch
is-
this space.
Ah.
We're going to have to refit Mirrool in Tasmania. We're going to do it over winter because surprisingly, even though Hobart's probably one of the coldest capital cities in Australia, it's the second driest. So
And it's also a lot more affordable down here.
it is. It's very cheap to slip here.
Yeah.
And get. If we might even engage some people to assist with redoing our rigging and getting another storm sail made because we don't have a storm sail yet. So
Okay.
if we do decide to cross the bight in Mirrool, we want to have everything like perfect. So get the rigging done and the sail and.
I reckon that Australian bight will be some real challenging
Yeah.
sailing through there.
Yeah.
And that's something I haven't seen anyone else really do online. I haven't
Yeah.
gone specifically looking for it, but
Yeah.
that coastline, especially in whale season, is going to be really spectacular.
Yeah, big swells,
Big
but
swells.
big gaps between the swells, so it seems really specky. It looks specky from what pictures I've seen.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Pascal,
Thank
for
you.
your time today. I know you're a very busy person. And what's Troy doing at the moment?
Yeah, well, that's why we're here, because Troy's currently removing our Derides because they basically don't work and they leak. So Derides are, if anyone doesn't know Derides, they add increased airflow into your boat.
Ah, okay.
They've got like a kind of, you would have seen them probably on bigger yachts, they've got like a foghorny
Yes, I have seen
opening.
those. Yeah.
Some people call them Derides. I call them Derides.
Okay.
Anyway, they were installed on our boat, but totally unnecessary on our boat because we have great airflow through the companionway and out through the front hatch.
And especially when you're living on it, it's open
always
all the
open,
time.
exactly, yeah.
We're really worried about our boat up in Mooloolaba at the moment. It's summer and they've had all this rain, torrential rain, and I did leave a little window just open.
So you don't
a
have
wee
Derides
bit.
in your boat then?
No,
Right.
we do not.
Maybe that's why the previous owner installed them, because we just don't understand why. We haven't used them once. We've had them sealed off, but they still leak. So
Right.
yeah.
No, well, our boat's going to be locked up. Well, originally we thought it was only going to be a couple of months, but we're getting more
So
and
much
more
work,
down
which is
here.
great.
It is good, but I've said to Don, the whole idea was that we don't have to work so hard.
To live on
take
just
some time
liveaboards.
off. Yeah, but we are having to supplement our income, and we can at the moment, so we may as well make
Great.
hay while the sun shines, as they say.
Yeah.
But no, thanks again
You're
for
welcome.
your time. Lovely to meet you.
Yeah, thanks, Kirsty.